Hello, and welcome to day 49 of this Unity game development journal. So today I tried to do something a little bit different in creating a new map representing the interior of all these buildings on the Alina world, or in the Alina world. I just created some of them. This isn't all of them, but I wanted to just see what I could do with some variations on the smaller buildings on the left-hand side within the forest. There's a bunch of little buildings in there. So we have, starting off, this first tiny building. And a lot of these forest buildings I just have as cabins with the sleeping quarters and a little dining table, just so for hunters and things like that that are out in the country, they can live in these little buildings. So they have windows and doors and such. So I have an L-shaped one here with a fireplace. It's nice. I have a rectangular one, more of a tall building that's more like a lodge for coming together and eating and drinking. We have a larger square, bit more room to move around there, a really tiny square, and then I start into the village side where I have a little, desk area, a visitor center. There's going to be stores. A lot of the other buildings in the village are a little bit bigger than this, so there's going to be room for like stores, shops, um, bars, saloons and things like that. Whatever, I don't know, whatever it sort of works out to be. But mainly this is a test to see how I can transition between the overworld and the buildings. So on this one, which I have completed, I manually entered in the entrance and exit of this room in Unity. And my hope is to do something similar to the sign where I have an object inside of tiled that I can locate on this map. So I just place it on a tile. And then that will translate into a prefab in Unity automatically. It'll import itself, set itself up all automatically. So essentially, again, what I'm trying to do is use tiled for the majority of the level design. I can just use objects and tiles just to design how everything works. Once it's imported into Unity, it does its magic using a script all right to find the game objects, convert them to prefabs, and set everything up for me using the proper components and all that kind of stuff. That is the end goal, hopefully. And I have the sign halfway there. It's not setting the text based on a text, probably use some JSON file or something to do all my text information, some sort of a dialog database, and that'll bring it all in based on whatever the tiled key code is that I set up. So that's the hope anyway. So let's just jump right into Unity and show you what's going on. So another thing is I'm recording the game music, the background computer music. So I have that set up using a sound manager. I have 3 different types of music. This isn't the final music in the game, but it's something just to use to test this concept out. So 3 pieces of music, one for the main menu, one for the overworld, and one for inside buildings. And you can see as I transition, the background music will also change. Let's jump right in here just so this video doesn't end up being too long. So we have the basic menu. Obviously this is just generic, and it's going to be modified for the final game. You can sort of hear the background music coming in right now. This is the first background music. As I click new game, it'll transition into the overworld background music. And there it is. There's the background music for the overworld. So I'm going to walk over here and we'll get to a building where I can show you that. So this is the sign, it still works exactly like before, didn't really change anything there. We'll come over to the building. So this is this tiny building. One of the things I wanted to do this in this game is translate proportionally the size of the building on the outside from when you're looking at it to the same size of building on the inside using the same number of tiles. So that's why the interiors look quite small. In a lot of games, you'll have a tiny building like this on the map. You'll go inside and it'll be a huge room. Doesn't really make much sense. So I'm just going to walk in here and it'll transition not only the map as well as the sound. So now it's a different background music and we can walk around this little thing. Layering is all beautiful. I like how the character moves in between and in front and behind different things. It's a tight little space, but we can move around it just fine. Probably find some little objects in here in the future. The one thing I don't like about this whole setup so far is the transition is a little too snappy for me. I think I'm going to try and figure out a way of doing much more of a fading effect that's a little slower. I had it previously in a few weeks ago in another video. I showed off a fading effect, I think, and I have that done. I want to try and incorporate something like the fading effect into what I'm doing now. So we'll just see this snappy transition again as I walk out the door. Boom, it sort of snaps. and it doesn't really fade very nicely, but that can be easily fixed. Let's go for a little stroll down here to show you sort of how big this map is, just to get to the next building. So there'll be a lot of stuff that we can probably fool around with and do between there and here, and the next building is here. So this one doesn't do anything yet, there's no transitions, but it's very easy to hook up. I could do it manually, but what I want to try to do, like I said, is do it within tiled, so that's just a little bit of extra effort up front, but it'll save time later on. And again, that's an L-shaped building to match the L-shaped building here. So, beautiful. Let's take a quick stroll down to the bottom. We'll see how much bigger this map is, and we're getting close to the bottom here. So it is quite a large map. I can do a lot of things within these different spaces. One of the things after I finish off this room transitions is working on when you walk in the water. You should get some splashes, and your feet should be in the water in the blueness, blue tile part. So that's just polish, though. That could be done later on. That's really just a polishing effect. But yeah, I really like the map. It's coming together. I like how big it is and the style of it. So I'm happy. Come over here and see our beautiful animation again before we end out the video. So remember, if you want to follow along with the game development of this Unity project, simply subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you like this video, drop me a like. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.